Yo, what up, everybody? It's me, TricksterShadow. This is a quick little video of me just talking about the Trickster buffs that are coming through. If you guys don't know, the devs actually tweeted out today and they put out a post on their forums talking about some of the buffs that they're planning on doing for the Trickster soon. So I'm assuming that this is going to be coming probably this upcoming Tuesday since they're announcing it. Usually, when they announce something like this or a hotfix like this, because they said this is going to be on a hotfix, it usually comes like the next Tuesday because they usually release patches on Tuesday. And yeah, let's just go over it, and I'll tell you guys my opinions, whether these are good or bad. Since I figured I might as well make one of these, since I made a video for every change that they've made so far, and how I was disappointed with how they released the Trickster, especially considering how he was in the PTB compared to live. And so let's go into this. All right, so they put out this blog post. The artwork, which is very good artwork. I really like the aesthetic of this killer. It said, "Good news, everyone. We're prepared to make some changes to the Trickster in time for the 4.6.1 bug fix patch." Which, since it's a bug fix patch, it's a hot fix. Probably going to be this upcoming Tuesday, and thankfully we won't have to wait till the next major patch. Our goals with these changes are to make him feel better to play, as well as giving him a slight boost in power without feeling oppressive to play against. And let's unpack that to see if they'll feel oppressive or not. So the first thing that they're doing is they're increasing his movement speed while throwing knives from 3.68. Then it slows down. This is how it is currently. It goes from 3.68 movement speed when he holds up one knife, and then if he throws 30 knives, he progressively goes slower for every knife he throws between 1 and 30. And so at 30 knives, he goes to 2.68. So from 3.68 to 2.68, he goes a full meter per second slower currently after he throws 30 knives. They're changing that to where they're buffing when he's holding his knife. Instead of him being at 3.68, he goes to 3.86. So they're buffing his movement speed. And if you don't know what that is quick math. Let me see. That is because 100% movement speed is 4 meters a second. So that goes from 92% movement speed while holding a knife currently. And then the buff brings him up to 96.5% movement speed. So it's pretty substantial. That's more speed than a single stack of play with food. And if you've ever played with play with your food or played against it, you know how crazy even one stack of play with food can be. So that's a very substantial buff, and especially because they made it to where the slowdown while throwing your knives, they made it to where instead of it just going a full meter per second slower, it goes from 3.86 to 3.68. So just zero point 0.2 meters per second slower, which is very good. Because I always thought like punishing him for using his powers is a very weird thing to do. And of course, his main event, his special ability where he throws knives really fast, and making it to where instead of it just going, instead of him just being at 3.68, he's at 3.86, the new default for holding a knife. So that's good. They buffed the main event a little bit. And then they made it to where they decreased the killing part chords and K-Sharp shoes effects respectively. If you don't know what these add-ons do, they both increase his movement speed while he's holding a knife. And so, of course, they would nerf those because they're buffing his speed at base, and so they can't just leave those in. Otherwise, they could be a little bit busted, which makes sense. All these changes are pretty substantial and makes him a lot better of a killer, just even these changes alone. And these are the kind of changes that I was advocating for in like previous videos and on my stream, that I wanted them to either get rid of this slowdown altogether or like heavily reduce the slowdown to where it wouldn't be as annoying in chase. And they did that, but that isn't where they stopped. They actually kept on going. To help the Trickster keep up during a chase, we've increased both his maximum and minimum movement speed while throwing knives. The speed penalty from throwing multiple knives is now significantly lower than before, which is what we're talking about. This allows you to lose less ground while using your power and land more knives before losing sight of the survivor, like going around corners. It's very good, but like I said, this isn't where they're stopping. They're also making it where he draws his knives out faster. They decrease the windup, readying the knife from 0.5 seconds to 0.35 seconds. Now, that doesn't seem super crazy, but it really is, because that 0.15 seconds is enough for a survivor to vault a window and get around a corner very easily. And so him being able to wind up his knife faster makes it to where he doesn't have to, because normally, like if you're playing the Trickster right now, if somebody is approaching a pallet, here, wait, let me draw this out. It's easier for me to draw it out. So if somebody is approaching a pallet, say you're playing like a long wall. So if you're playing a long wall, if you don't know how long walls look, they're like there's the wall right here, and then the pallets right here, and then another wall, and then there's the long wall with the window right here, the window right here, and then we got another wall. And so if somebody is, say, like going around and looping this way, and then you're following them, when you reach this part of the loop and the person's going towards the window, you have to pull up your knife at the corner instead of pulling it up as you pass the pallet. And so when you pull it up at the corner, otherwise you wouldn't be ready to actually hit them. When you pull it up at the corner, then they have enough time to get through the window, and by the time you actually are able to hit them, you get like maybe like 1 or 2 knives into them. So this change makes it to where instead of getting 1 or 2 knives into their back, you're gonna be able to probably get like 4 or 5. This change alone makes that much of a difference, and so it makes his power a lot more effective in chase. And so that's pretty crazy that they not only gave him the speed boost in his, or not speed boost, but they reduced the penalty for throwing his knives and holding his knife and everything. But they also made it to where he winds up faster. And they also increased the wind down period from 1 second to 1.25 seconds. So that's like after you're done throwing your knives, you having to like speed back up. So they're making it to where to like counterbalance this wind up. If you throw your knives and the survivor actually manages to break line of sight, you having to speed back up takes a little bit longer, which makes sense. Just trying to keep it balanced. And so the reason why they're doing this is to make the power feel more fluid. We've increased the time it takes to ready his power. This will both feel better to use and give you a larger window to throw your knives, as you'll be able to keep up much better than before. The grace period before you can do a basic attack after canceling your power has been increased slightly. So the slowdown from using your power, and then obviously, like I said, from not being able to M1, a little bit longer. But I don't think that's as big of a deal, because ideally, if you're learning how to use his power and you know how to use his power, you'll be able to get those people no matter what. It won't really matter that you're slowed down after using your power. And they're also, it's not done yet. They're giving him more more control with his knives. They're reducing the spread on the thrown knives. If you don't know, there's quite a bit of variability with his projectiles. He'll throw them like pretty much from each shoulder instead of like the middle of the screen. I'll throw them from each shoulder, and even then, they'll move slightly. They won't be directly from each shoulder, so you can't just like keep on moving left and right because they're a little bit sporadic. So they're removing the spread, which is good, makes it a little bit more skillful to play him, and they're greatly reducing the recoil. If you don't know, there's a 10-degree recoil every time you throw a knife, and so your camera will shift 10 degrees up. And so to counteract that, you got to constantly be looking down. And so they said they greatly reduced it, which, as we all know, with greatly, moderately, considerably with DBD, we don't know what that means. I wish they would actually give us a number for this. It could be, it's now 8 degrees instead of 10 degrees. Could be it's 2 degrees instead of 10 degrees. No idea, but it's good that they're changing that all the same. I said initially the Trickster launched with both spread, random inaccuracy to each knife thrown, and recoil, as landing multiple hits on a sporadically moving survivor can be a challenge on its own. We've removed the spread and significantly decreased the recoil. This will give you much more control and make your accuracy more dependent on your own skill, which is good. I think it should be. I think that makes sense. And then miscellaneous changes, even more buffs to them. Finally, rounding off the list, here's some various changes. List with some various but still notable changes. Increase the initial laceration decay timer from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. This gives you a longer window to follow up with additional blades before the laceration meter decreases. So if you don't know, it takes 15 seconds currently before the laceration, which is like the knife meter, to decrease on the survivors passively. And so they're making it to where it's an additional 5 seconds. It doesn't seem crazy, but considering that this timer resets every time you land a knife on the survivor, a 5-second longer passive time actually will make a huge difference, because every 20 seconds, as long as you land one knife on the survivor, they'll keep their current amount of knives on them. And so that's very considerable buff to them. And then they decrease the main event cooldown from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. If you don't know, the main event, after you use the main event, you actually can't use your knives for 10 seconds currently. So they're reducing that from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, which is very good. I think that'll make it to where it's not even that bad of a penalty afterwards. Because I've noticed that, like, usually, like, I'll use my main event and then I have to wait out the entire 10 seconds, and the person's like one knife away from getting down. I just can't even do it. But 5 seconds won't be as bad, because usually 5 seconds you're trying to get back into a position where you can throw your knives again. And so 5 seconds is pretty much just trying to line up the shot again. So it's not really going to be that bothersome. So it's a good change that they did that. And then the iridescent photo card, I actually don't know what that does. Uh, you can tell how much I've been playing him. I've been trying to make him good, and I actually do have a build that I think is pretty good with them, but I haven't made the video yet. I haven't even tested out the ultra rares. Oh, it's right here. All right, I got it right here. The survivor laceration meter is 1 hit away. They're exposed. Oh, so, okay. So they buffed his iridescent. Okay, that's okay. They buffed the iridescent where if you max out the knives on somebody, then you can just 1 hit down them with your M1. They made it to where it also injures people now to make it to where you're not like sandbagging yourself as much, which it's cool. Like they're buffing the iridescent. All these changes listed are planned for the 4.6.1 bug fix. Thanks to everyone who has left constructive feedback. Yeah, and then you're going to continue moderating them. And so, what do I think about these changes? Personally, I think this is a little bit too much. I think that this alone, changing his move speed to be less of a penalty, is enough to make him a decent killer. And then all the other stuff that they did with the wind up and the stuff they did with the recoil and all that, it's good changes. But I worry that it may be too much. This is gonna make the Trickster go from like an F tier killer, worst killer in the game. This is gonna make him go up to like B or A tier, and in my opinion, because this makes it to where his power is less of a detriment to use. This makes it to where he's not as slow when he's using his power, so he can pressure the survivors more effectively. This makes him a lot more deadly in chase, and those 3 things just bring him up from the worst killer in the game to an actual. What I fear is that survivors are going to see him and it can be like, oh god, it's a Trickster. Oh, I don't want to go against a Trickster. And so I hope it won't be like that, but this killer is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to play him when he comes out. I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions on this. Oh, this video's almost done, the YouTube video. I'm curious to hear you guys' opinions about this. If you guys think these changes are good, if they're too much, how you think these changes will play out, and everything in between. So I will see you guys. If you guys want to talk to me more about this, I'll be live streaming a little bit after this video goes live, twitch.tv/TricksterShadow. And I would love to talk to you there about all these. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone.